those magnificent men in their flying machines. They go up to the up, they go down to the down.
Okay, well, I've got to do the ailerons now. I've tackled it, which is a bit bizarre because I wasn't sure what I was doing, but now I've worked it out, which I'm quite pleased about. So this is how the outlook is at the moment, okay? Because obviously the bit I was concerned about is the actual wingtip, okay? Because obviously on the top wing, it's all in one and it's quite nicely formed in, you know, with that little kink in it. So I've been thinking, right, how do you go around this? So probably isn't the way you're meant to do this, you know, but at least with my way of doing it, I'm going to cut a slice in there, you know, so I can get that kink, that bend in. And obviously you've got the original bits that they give with the kit, that bit and that bit, you know, which are these pieces here, okay? And they're your guides to get the bend of the wingtip. Right, so I thought I'd write this before, Blue Peter style. Okay, so these bits, right, what I'll tell you, obviously pin that flat to the board with the pins. Okay, so it's nice and flat. And then I decided to use super glue on these, because it's just for speed really. And don't forget, like I said in the previous video, you've got to make one of these extra on either wing. So you've got to make two of these, because you've cut them off the original ribs. So you make two up, you know, just to make sure you, for the ends or wherever you want to put them, like I put them in the middle. Okay, so you've got them in. Okay, and then what I just did, after that, you get your back plate, which has got to be shaped, obviously, to make it go up and down. And I white glued these in, as you can see, with the pins, hold them in, and a few pins to hold it down in case, you know, like on this one here, just to make sure it's all nice and flat to the board. You know, that's why these pins are so cool, right? And they'll do it, right? And then, this is this piece here, where my finger is. This is basically this is just when you put the horn in for the servo. See, servo, horn. Okay, so you've got somewhere to screw it to, nice and thick. And then the important piece, which is really important, here it asks you to put in an insert. And what I've done, just to make sure I'm going to get it right, is the insert. They give you this in the kit, which I believe is this, so you can see. So there you go, right? There's your insert. This is just a piece of angled aileron angle. I'll try and get it in the camera. There you go, see? And then I overdrew round it, so give me a shot. Overdrew round it. So I'll do this one hand, and I'll sand that back eventually. Because don't put that in first. Put the top on, like I've done on the other one. So, and again, I white glued these in. White glued it. Right. What I've done is I've white glued the ribs. Okay, and then I super glued the edges here. Super glue the edges with my fingers running. Okay, and then leave it, like I said, leave this till last. Okay, so if we go to the other one now, that might make sense. See, this has already been super glued and white glued. Okay, here's your insert, and then you can play with it, you know. So you see, just slide it in. It's hard to do this with one hand, bear with me. Right, see, and it slides in, so you get that at the end there. See, okay, and then that'll be it. See, and it'll work out nice. You can either trim this or use this. I've yet to work that out because obviously it sits there. So see, that butts right up. So once you've glued that in where you're happy with it, right, I would trim that back. So you've got a nice flat base where my finger is to adhere that to. Okay, but we'll come to that in another video. I wasn't intending to make this today because I was going to have a break and finish it, but I can't. You know, when you get to the stage, I don't know about other builders, but you get to the stage where you just can't stop. You know, you think I've had enough, and then you think, no, I want to do a bit more, I want to do a bit more. And that's what I'm like. Alright, so anybody out there, tell me if they're the same, you know, because I don't know whether I'm just weird or, you know, other builders are like that, you know. Because, you know, I'll enjoy it so much, you see, and then you get to the stage where you get too tired and you make mistakes, but at the moment I'm alright. So the other thing as well is, if I can get it in here, try and get the camera around, what I've done is trued it up, the trailing edge true to that, see? So it doesn't matter if I've got a little gap here, because what I'm going to do here is, right, I think the light's better on this one, I'm going to put some capping strips on there. over the ribs, just to make it look authentic, to run with the rest of the ribs on the wing. Okay, again, this is not on the plan. None of this is on the plan, this bit, but I just think it would look more realistic. Okay, all right. Or if you really want to be brave, just do like on the Sopwith pup. Don't bother with this bit at all. Just run the cap and strips down. But you've got to watch out then for strength. Anyway, that's it. That's blabbing. Okay, so that's the ailerons, and then as you can see here, I've decided to be lazy. I can take them off now. Right, and the servo. Thanks to Martin Thompson again. It look ugly, but you know what, right? I thought about it and all the effort to go in. I mean, by all means, you want to sit it inside, but I just don't want to. Right, so it's going to slot in there, just like that. And then now I've done that, I put some strengtheners in the inside here. I've white glued this in. Okay, because when it comes to covering it, you won't see it. So that'd be nice. Okay, same as the other one. Okay, so that's them. And all you do with that is obviously, I cheated. I got a piece of old ply, put the wing over the top, screw inside, cut it out with where I've measured it, the lines. Just put it in, white glued it in. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect, because I'm going to put strengthening strips in there, so it doesn't come out. Okay, we're all about the wings and the ailerons. This is one I made earlier, Blue Peter style. So as you can see, you've got to try and get that format there, because obviously this needs to be separated because it's the aileron wing, as you see. Okay, but then so in order to achieve all this, it took me a bit of working out in my drunken state last night, which I wasn't really drunk, but I just like saying it. Okay, I was wishing. So I'm sure the cameraman, if he points to it and shows it, you got it all right?
Yeah.
You're not nervous, are you?
No.
Right, so if you come over here, we'll show you what I'm on about. So this extra bit that's you put in, I'll just slide it back in so you see roughly, right? You must get this to the centre of the flange that's sticking out. Mark it with your finger and a pencil like so. Oh yeah, a pen, I've shown you that before. I better do it, I suppose. Right. So you just use the finger and thumb rule and then just go down it to the width, a little bit wider than the actual plate that's going in the wingtip. Okay, and then you cut it with a scalpel out, trim it all, and it's ready. You see, along to go with the other two, because that's what's going to form the bend. Alright, so there's that. Okay, and obviously you test it first. It doesn't matter if these bits break off because they're only super glued on, so you don't get enough room to play with it. So you see, so you've got your tip there. See, so you've got the form in it. There you go. It doesn't matter if it's not flush there because it's going to be white glued in and super glued everywhere. So we got that far, okay? Right, so what I'm going to do is quite simple now. We get your white glue. Yeah, my camera angle is good now, It's on £10 a second. He worked for Spielberg last time, he says, and I believed him.
Yeah, John Spielberg.
Yeah. They'll be shocked, you see, because my camera lady, she won't speak. She never speaks, so she's shy. So they were saying, we've got somebody behind it, it's talking now. What's that about? I said, well, you see, you've got to have it, it's got to be done. Right, oh yeah. So we got that white glued there. Normally, seriously now, joking aside, depending on how you feel, if you're quite happy, you can use super glue on these. But I tend to think, well, I always just white glue the bottom bit because that's where the pressure's going to be on when you bend it. And these bits here, like this. So, okay, all right. Just coat it with a wee brush. This brush costs 20 quid. Believe me?
I don't.
Right. So you've done that now. Here's the trick. So you've put it in, make sure you get it the right way round, and we slide it in. Right, slide it as near as damn it to it, because it's going to need it. Right, and we've got her in now, see? And you just bend it. See, that's why I said leave enough space to play with it, because obviously you've got to fettle with it to get it in position. Now you push it up to there, on that groove there. And like you see, get into the groove. Now what I do is, we'll move that out of the way so you can see. Probably use a better bottle of glue, but this will do. So you just put a piece of glue in there. So temporarily, this is a temporary fix, as they say. Okay? And spray it. That's just purely to hold it for a little bit. Because what I tend to do afterwards, right over to the day, is put a piece in to hold it and it's strong. But it's just to position it so it gives a chance for the white glue to settle. Okay, right. There you go, that's that. Nice. Now what you got to do, next best piece. This piece here, where the scalpel is, you must keep this, because that's going to work in your favour for the aileron. Right, so we just trim it, gently trim it. Normally I would glue it down and let it dry, but because of the camera and the amount of the cameraman's charging me per minute, I need to sort of do it all in one go. See what I mean? It's what you do for less than £1 a minute.
Alright.
Right. Back off. Right, must keep this piece, it's important. See, it all goes back in nicely now. Now, where you've white glued it, which is not a bad thing, get a few clamps. There, thanks cameraman. This Tony is my best mate and he's my camera assistant, and he's usually my assistant for loads of things. When I was building the workshop, he was my assistant. And that, so, you know, but he's so sought after, it's hard to get hold of him. Right, so, and you clamp these in with the white glue. Okay, so you got them like that. Now, if you want to speed up the system, then by all means, I would do this anyway, but I'm going to find the right glue bottle, because whatever that is, it's not here, is it? This is your fault, because my drunken state last night was your fault. There you go. Okay. Right, a little tip. Just break it off. Crystallises, doesn't it? Because it's super glue, sniff. Right, so I tend to like just run it down the edges. There you go. See, you just seed it a little bit there on the top. It's just to give it a bit of a. I'll just give it a spray. The activator. Now you see that in this, basically you leave it a cure. In 10 minutes this glue does. So that's fantastic. So now you see you need this piece, because this is the piece that goes on to the elevator. So here we have your elevator. Okay. Now the elevator is exactly the same problem, well, same thing. Again, now I can show you. So you see, this is one I made earlier. So you got mark it. Again, you've got to get it in the centre. It doesn't matter how many times you do this, you know, but you've got to get it in the centre of the elevator, the back plate of the elevator, aileron even, elevator. See, now that's a bit wide. So you just keep doing it until you're happy with it. No problem. It doesn't have to be a straight line. That's the alcohol again in it. Oh dear. Taking effect. Right, that'll do. So now I can demonstrate exactly what you do. So I tend to go up to the rib, obviously find the rib mark in there. Right, back plate it. And then we just go like this. So it's easy to cut. And then we just take your time, because don't try and scalp it all in one go. Go lightly over the first time to get a nice straight line. See, like so. Same with this side, nice and lightly. And again. And each time obviously you go down deeper, that's done. And a couple more on there. Yeah, almost there now. How much do I owe you now?
Oh well. At least 1 point.
Oh well. No, if we're talking, no, I'd rather pay you. Right, so beer. Well, beer don't. What's the pint of beer these days? How much it costs a pint of beer these days?
£3.
£3. Oh, that's cheaper after
Depends where you go to.
Yeah, I suppose there is that. See, that's a bit wide, but that doesn't really matter, right? So, you see you got your piece there now. So line it up with your box. With that clamp. That's fine, not a problem at all. See, it's lovely. And that's exactly how it's meant to be. So you've got it lined up there, okay? And again, I would white glue it. White glue. Right, there's loads of tricks. Cheat. At first you don't succeed, cheat. So, that copious amounts of glue. Okay. Now, I'm just going to put it in there. I'll do the same that side. Just paint it in the middle. Yeah. So at least I got proof that I've built this whole plane. I was saying the other day, Tom, right, and that I built it all with Star Trek music in the background. Because my last plane was War of the Worlds, and this one's Star Trek. Alright, so see now, trying to get the camera around, following the shape. Because obviously that sticks out because it can sand it to shape. But this is more important. So you've got that and you just get the pliers, clamps even. I beat you to it this time. You're not my assistant now, you're the cameraman. That's what we do, just leave it there like so. Right, okay, now you've got to check this is in the middle. This is important. You've got to get that in the middle there. Okay, you see that? Right, so that it's in the middle of the aileron. Okay, I made this mistake yesterday on my drunken state. The cameraman's not following me. And look at me. Oh, it's a bit weird. And basically, I had to cut it off again and redo it. So, back to this now. Right. We need a director here, don't we? Right, so, it's got to be in the centre there because it follows the shape of the rest of the wingtip. Okay? So, and then obviously you want to hold it there. So you cheat again. Just put a piece down here. Come on. No, just hold it because you've white glued it anyway, but that'll do. You see? So you don't have to worry about it. I mean, if you really want to be sure, just do it there. I'm running out of ink. Ink? What's going on? It's that Coca-Cola thing. So there you have it. So obviously now, you've got everything you want, right? That's obviously to save time on the video because it takes so long to upload. Well, you've got them together, and what you do is what I do in a way. I'm joking aside now, because there is a serious part to this, obviously, ladies and gentlemen. I think making videos have a bit of humour in it. I've watched other people doing videos. I find the ones that get more hits are the ones that are quite humorous. And I think because it gets boring after a while. So, there you go. Right, so what I tend to do is now you've got them in place. Now, this is important. This is the gap here, which you're going to tidy up when you sand it all because it's all hanging overly. But obviously you need a bit of gap there to put the covering on. So you've got room for it to move up and down. So that's not a problem. So what I do is with this, the wing over there, once it's all dry, I'll then have it into place because that's going to be sticking up. And then you just sand, obviously, sand it to shape for the rest to follow suit with the rest of the riggers, outriggers. And that will be the case of the ailerons. Okay, right, so whilst that's curing, next stage is, yesterday I did admit I forgot to put the last bar in for the strut, so I've done that today, and that's done. I've also put in the supports for the front struts, which is just made out of excess ply, which is cut and shaped, so that's not a problem, that's all strengthening. So basically the wing now, apart from the capping, what I showed yesterday, that'll be the next job on these, is ready for the plates, for the, excuse me, the plates for the doodah struts. And I'll come to that in another video to show you how to make that. So that's it, okay? So I can go back to drinking my Coke. You can't see me now. Yeah, so, oh, God. Bring back the camera, lady. Anyway, right, guys, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do for now. I can't think of anything else to tell you about it. I'm there. Oh yeah, big thing. Got to make the middle bit, the middle wing section. So I probably might do that a little bit later on today. But that's straightforward enough. So I'll come to that another day. Okay, right then. Bye.
Those magnificent men.